Hey guys, so in watching the old Mummy movie, or not the old one, but the new one with Tom Cruise, it inspired me to go back and watch the old Mummy movies because this, this might be a big shock to you, some of you guys that don't actually know me, but I have not ever seen The Mummy or The Mummy Returns, the Brendan Fraser ones. I have seen Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, but I haven't seen it in quite a few years. I think I saw it the year after it came out, so that would have been '09, I think. So, I after seeing the new one, I felt inspired to go and watch the old one. So, usually I do these before the new movie comes out, but I guess in this case I'm doing it after. But so, let's talk about The Mummy. The Mummy is directed by Stephen Sommers, and it stars Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz, I think. VHS. Let's see. Yeah, Rachel Weisz. And it tells the story. It tells the story of the Mummy. This is a remake of the old 1930 something Mummy movie, and it's a pretty accurate reboot, honestly, compared to the new one. The new one, yeah, that one really doesn't follow the original much. This one does, but it adds in one huge thing that appealed to a lot of audiences that saw this movie. The Indiana Jonesy stuff. The, so let me run through the story. The story is that there's this guy, Imhotep. He was a high priest in ancient Egypt, and he was having an affair with the pharaoh's wife. So they killed Pharaoh, and then she got killed. So then he tried to do this ritual to bring her back to life. The pharaoh's guards came in. They mummified him and entombed him and cursed him to be alive the whole time. And so there he sat for the next 1600 years alive. And then his tomb is discovered by Brendan Fraser, who plays Rick O'Connell, who is one of the awesomest characters in movies ever. And I wish I had seen these movies a lot earlier because Rick O'Connell is just awesome. Like, all right, guys, I'm gonna tell you guys a story real quick. When I was about 8 or 9 years old, Brendan Fraser was my favorite actor ever. Because remember, at this point, I had only seen him in the Mummy, the third Mummy movie, George of the Jungle, Journey to the Center of the Earth, and maybe Encino Man. I remember seeing Encino Man before, but point is, Brendan Fraser was my favorite actor of all time. And going back and rewatching these movies, I remember why. He Brendan Fraser might be one of the greatest action movie stars ever. It just sucks that he kind of just stopped being in movies after a while. He chose to do more kid-friendly movies, comedies, and they flopped hard. And then that whole thing with his divorce happened, and he just kind of fell off of acting for a while and just doing anything. And it does suck because I really do love Brendan Fraser. He is incredible in this movie. He might actually be my favorite part of this movie. He has the funniest lines, the best moments. He is a complete and total just. He's awesome. Dude is awesome. And so, yeah, that was my biggest enjoyment of this movie. Everything else was just kind of like icing on the cake. I mean, Rachel Weisz is good. I haven't seen her in a lot of movies, but she was good in this. I'm just not a huge fan of her. The visual effects are a little dated, but also still really good. There's quite a few practical effects used in this movie, and for the most part, everything looks really good. The supporting cast is alright. There's a couple of funny side characters. Rachel Weisz's brother. Yeah, there's just all the characters are really great in this. And then we get to the mummy himself, Imhotep, played by Arnold Vosloo, I think is how you pronounce his name. Yeah, I liked him as Imhotep. You don't really see him, though, for most of the movie that's set during, like, I wouldn't say present day, but in, like, the 1920s, I think, is when this movie is set. When you see the stuff in the 1920s with, Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz and their whole thing going on, for the most part, until about the end of the movie, or near the end of the movie, dude's a mummy. Like, he is just a CGI mummy, and his face is all, like, messed up. He's got the bandages and stuff. That's him for most of the movie. Until about the ending, and then he gets the normal body. But, I mean, he did a good job. I'm sure he had to do, like, some type of, like, motion capture thing. Like, they probably just had him walk around and then they CGI'd everything over him. Or maybe they just CGI'd it and then they had him go in and, like, do some face mocap and then some lines recording. I don't know how they did it. I don't really care. It looks cool. I mean, that is the best thing I can say about this movie, is that it looks cool, too. The acting is great. It looks great. The story is pretty solid. I never felt myself just sitting there going, I have no idea what's going on right now. And I just can't believe I have not seen this movie before. I honestly cannot believe I never went out of my way to be like, you know what? I want to watch The Mummy with Brendan Fraser. And I'm so glad that I finally did choose to see the movie, because The Mummy is one of the best adventure movies I've seen in a long time. It's probably my favorite Brendan Fraser movie right now. I don't know. Haven't finished Returns yet, so that might end up taking its place, because I finished The Mummy and I started watching Returns, and I got about an hour into The Mummy Returns, and then I turned it off because I had stuff to do. And then I haven't rewatched Tomb of the Dragon Emperor yet, but I have fond memories of it, so I'm hoping it's still as good as I remember it being. And so yeah, I gotta say though, this so far is my favorite Mummy movie out of all of them. And I can't wait to finish Returns, because from the first hour of Returns, I'm enjoying it. And I can't wait to rewatch Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. But yeah, so I am gonna give The Mummy an A. There are some minor things. Some of the lines are pretty cheesy. Some of the effects aren't great anymore. It's all just really still very fun though. And again, I can't wait. The best thing that a movie that's part of a franchise can do is, when you watch it, it'll make you want to see the rest of the movies in that franchise. And that is what this movie did. So I'm really excited to finish The Mummy Returns and start rewatching Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. Thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know in the comments what you think of The Mummy if you've seen it. and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.